Think your next family wildlife trip will be unpredictable and chaotic. Stick around because these 10 hacks will turn any adventure into the kind of trip your kids talk about for years. Asterisk whether you're heading into a national park, visiting a wildlife sanctuary, or just taking a weekend nature trip with your family, the right little tricks can turn an ordinary day into a memory that sticks for a lifetime. And today, we're counting down the top 10 family-friendly wildlife hacks, simple, practical, and surprisingly effective tips that make exploring nature easier, safer, and way more fun for everyone. Let's jump right in. Asterisk 10. The Wildlife Bingo. Trick: keep kids engaged for HOURSF. You've ever taken kids on a nature walk? You know the moment about 12 minutes in when their curiosity evaporates, and they start asking, "Are we done yet?" This is where Wildlife Bingo saves the day. Wildlife Bingo is a simple, printable, or digital card filled with pictures of common animals, tracks, insects, leaves, or even local landmarks. The goal: spot as many as possible. Suddenly, every rustle in the bushes becomes interesting. Every feather or footprint becomes a clue. Why it works. Kids stay focused and motivated. It encourages observation and patience. It turns a passive walk into a treasure hunt, and it helps them quietly watch wildlife instead of scaring everything away. You can create your own cards based on the region you're visiting or download pre-made templates before the trip. Either way, your kids will be looking around instead of looking bored. 9. The Silent Snack Time. Wildlife Lure. This hack feels almost like a cheat code. Instead of walking around hoping to stumble across animals, find a good vantage point like a clearing, water source, or edge of a forest and have a silent snack time. Kids love snacks. Wildlife loves quiet. Put the two together, and you get some of the best wildlife viewing opportunities of your entire trip. Why it works. Animals are more active when noise drops. Kids naturally stay still because they're eating. You avoid startling wildlife, increasing your chances of spotting something interesting. You can turn this into a little ritual. Sit, snack, whisper, observe. It's simple, it's calm, and it leads to some of the most magical moments. Point 8. The 2-bag pack rule. Never dig through backpacks. Again, nothing kills the mood on a wildlife trip faster than dumping half the backpack into the dirt, just to find a granola bar or sunscreen. Enter the 2-bag pack rule. Here's how it works. Bag A is your large, standard backpack with essentials you rarely access. Bag B is a small, accessible pouch with items you use constantly: wipes, sunscreen, bug spray, tissues, and so on. This one change saves countless interruptions and keeps everyone moving smoothly. Why it works? Kids always want something now. Adults always forget which pocket it's in. A tiny quick grab bag keeps the trip frustration-free. It's especially useful when you're near wildlife. You don't want to be making loud zipper sounds or dropping items while trying to quietly observe something. 7. Nature photo missions. Turn kids into explorers. Kids love purpose. They love challenges. So give them one. Create small photo missions such as take a picture of something fuzzy, find something with stripes, capture the shape of an animal, track, photograph a bird, doing anything funny. They don't need fancy cameras. Phone cameras work perfectly. Why it works. Kids hone their observation skills. They stay enthusiastic and focused. You get adorable, sometimes hilarious photos. It keeps them safely nearby and actively paying attention. Plus, at the end of the day, you can review the photos together and relive the highlights. It becomes part of the memory-making. 6. Send smart clothing prep. Avoid attracting or repelling wildlife. Here's a hack few families think about. What your clothes smell like can dramatically affect wildlife activity around you. Before the trip, wash clothes in unscented detergent and avoid perfumes, scented lotions, or fragrant sunscreens. Why? Many animals have incredibly sensitive noses. Strong scents can repel wildlife, startle animals, attract insects, make you stand out instead of blending in naturally. Kids especially love fruity or sweet-smelling products. But on wildlife trips, these can make the group more noticeable. Neutral equals better wildlife viewing plus fewer bugs. This hack is tiny, but it makes a surprisingly huge difference. 5. The shadow time strategy. Spot more wildlife without trying. Most families go wildlife watching at the worst possible time. Midday. Animals are hiding. The sun is harsh. Kids are cranky. That combination is not ideal. Instead, use what I call the shadow time strategy. This means planning your wildlife viewing during the 2 golden windows. Right after sunrise, right before sunset. These periods are cooler, quieter, and dramatically more active. Animals venture out to feed, drink, and explore while the lighting turns your entire trip into a cinematic dream. Why? It works. Better visibility, more active animals, perfect light for photos, a calmer, more magical atmosphere. Families often say these moments end up being the highlight of their entire trip, especially when the world feels quiet, glowing, and just a little bit enchanted. 4. The kid-friendly field guide. Hack: turn learning into adventure. You don't need to be a wildlife expert to teach your kids about the animals they see. You just need the right kind of field guide. Here's the trick. Choose guides with big pictures, simple facts, and visual comparisons. Pick versions that match your destination. Bonus points for waterproof or pocket-sized guides for younger kids. Choose guides with icons for where to spot it. Fun facts, sounds the animal makes. Clear pictures of tracks or feathers for older kids. Go with guides that include behavior patterns, habitat types, seasonal activity, conservation status. Why this hack works so well. Kids love having a role. When they can look at a guide and say, "Wait, I think I found this bird," their confidence skyrockets. It turns wildlife watching into a real-life detective game. Plus, it gets the whole family learning together. 3. The micro-wildlife moment. Technique: spot things you normally ignore when people think wildlife. They picture big animals, bears, bison, wolves. But here's the thing, most of the wildlife you'll actually encounter is tiny, and when you show kids how to appreciate small animals, the trip instantly becomes more fascinating. Teach your family to look for insect hotels, clusters of bugs living together, spider webs with dewdrops, tadpoles and tiny fish in shallow water, ant trails, camouflaged caterpillars, mini amphibians under rocks or logs, butterflies warming their wings in the sun. These are the creatures kids can actually observe up close, safely and respectfully. Why? It's a game changer. Tiny animals are easier to find. They teach patience and observation. Kids feel more accomplished spotting them. They're safe viewing experiences. They make even a short trail feel full of life. A simple puddle becomes an entire world waiting to be discovered. 2. The reverse checklist. Method: boost excitement and reduce pressure. Most wildlife trips use a checklist of species to find, but that can go wrong in two ways. Kids get disappointed if they don't see the animal they wanted. Adults feel pressured to make the trip successful. So instead, use the reverse checklist. Here's how it works. Don't give kids a list of animals to find. Instead, let them create a list of everything they did. After spotting it, it turns the experience into a celebration of discovery. Kids might write down, yellow butterfly with spots, frog jumping into the water, bird with a red head, something that looked like a tiny dinosaur but was probably a lizard. Why this works beautifully, no pressure, only excitement. Kids get creative. Every moment feels like a win. You avoid disappointment. The list becomes a memory journal. It's simple, empowering, and incredibly fun for every age group. 1. The respectful distance rule. The number one hack every family needs. If there's one wildlife hack that matters above all others, it's this one. Always stay far enough away that the animal doesn't change its behavior. And that brings us to the end of our list and simple, practical wildlife hacks that can completely transform the way your family explores the outdoors. But before you click away, I want to leave you with this. Family trips aren't just about seeing animals or checking something off a bucket list. They're about slowing down, escaping the noise, and reconnecting with the people who matter most. They're about watching your kids' eyes light up when they spot something new, hearing their laughter echo through the trees, and feeling that quiet sense of wonder we sometimes forget in our day-to-day routines. Nature has a way of pulling us back into the present, of reminding us that life doesn't need to be rushed, or complicated, or perfectly planned. Sometimes, all it takes is a trail beneath your feet, a little curiosity, and someone's hand in yours. So whether your next adventure is across the country, or right in your own backyard, I hope these hacks help you experience wildlife in a deeper, more meaningful way. That means no approaching, no feeding, no yelling, no throwing snacks to get its attention, and definitely no selfies with wild animals standing inches behind you. The respectful distance rule protects you and your family. The wildlife, the experience for everyone else. Safe distance ensures animals stay calm. You get more natural behaviors. You reduce risk. You preserve the environment. Teach kids this rule early, and they carry it into every future adventure. This hack may not be flashy, but it's the foundation of safe, meaningful wildlife experiences.